All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to the first exciting episode of. I haven't come up with a really good name for it, but it's a Fabula Ultima mini campaign. Yes, this is part of my This is hard enough to do without a stutter. This is part of my daily December ritual, I guess is what we can call it now. For the past 11 years, every day of the month of December, I make a new video. I try to do new things over the month of December, and the last couple years, part of that has been me trying new RPGs and, basically blackmailing people into running them with me. So,
it's adorable. You think I have any shame that you
I
can
was
use
about
on
to
me?
say. So you'll all be receiving a letter.
See, I was trying to think of what could be considered blackmail, but I think everything is pretty willingly given.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, with the stuff that you've done in Realms, like, I don't know of too many things I could come up with that would upset people. What's up? I see some Mad Spike emotes there.
Hello!
That's
Long
what-
time no see!
I guess I should say, for those of you that do watch me regularly, you will probably notice at least one new face. So I'll go ahead and start with Mad Spike. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Do I want to? No, do I have to? I guess so. Hi, I'm Matt Spike. I've been I would say long time. I've watched a few years, on and off, watching Trainer Jody. I've really enjoyed all of his campaigns. I finally got an invite to be part of one, and I'm super excited. I think it's going to be really fun, learning this new system. I think we've got a good teacher for this, and yeah, I'm excited to play with a bunch of old friends and new friends. So, yeah.
Mad Spike and I met through in the before times when Twitch was able to sing, and I used to do duets with him every so often, and Chags used to sing with him, and yeah, we had a good old time. So we all miss it. Hey Twitch, bring back Twitch Sings. It was one of the few things that was extremely positive on this platform. Like, there was so much positivity that came out of that. And we
Best
didn't even
community.
need hot tubs. Like,
Pretty much.
though I think
Definitely a lot
eventually,
cleaner.
the hot tub Twitch Sings would have become a thing.
Oh, 100%. There's people that do like the dance ones.
Yeah. But anyway, and then everyone else, let's go ahead and just start. Again, if you've seen my other campaigns, all these people have played in them. But I'd like to give everybody an introduction, especially if this is your first time watching, or if you're watching the YouTube video. Let's start with Imp, since you're in the first player position.
Hello, Joshua Thomas, also known as Imp in my head, or as Jody likes to refer to me as Damn It Imp. I'll be playing Furball, little beastie kind folk, little red panda. Both our pronouns are he him.
Awesome. Dan, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Dan. I've been playing with Jody for many years now. I'm going to try not to set everything on fire in this campaign, and
I don't believe it.
I'll be playing Silas.
And then Scott, if you want to introduce yourself.
I'm Scott. I've all been playing this Dota campaign for several years now, and I'll be playing a kiddo.
And then Spike, if you want to mention your character at least.
That's very true. Yeah, I am going to be playing a blood knight named Morada.
And then the lovely Jax, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Chax. I play in a couple of Jody's games. One of them with Imp, which is really funny, and then the other one and Trainer Jody. And the other one called Tears of the Realms. There's Trainer Jody and a whole bunch of other fabulous people. Where my character is no longer hitting on everyone.
No, your character is still hitting on everyone. It's just not being controlled by you anymore.
Okay.
I have
Fair
taken
enough.
over as an NPC, and Arel has still found ways to hit on everyone.
True. What a Desh found recently or kept on his obsession. Ooh, buddy. Yes, so I am playing a I keep wanting to say Warforged. Oh well. A robot basically, named Mintus. So and they're genderless, but they don't care what you call them. So
She's the robot. And what with the cape? Are we going to the opera? No, I don't think so. I think I'm just going to have to say no to the whole thing. That is a completely undervalued movie. It is amazing. Not because the movie itself is any good, but what's the actor's name? Hank Azaria is phenomenal in almost anything he does. So, all right. So, as far as other announcements, I'm trying to think of anything weird. Daily December started early last week. I was late. I missed a day. I made it up. I promise. So, if any of you guys want to find out what I was doing in prep work for tonight, my video today, I talked about my final prep that I do for most RPGs. So that was fun. And then I spent like 2 hours writing personal hooks for all of you guys. Because I procrastinated.
and they were magical, wonderful things. Like you guys don't understand.
One of these days, I mentioned in my video today, one of these days I'm going to have probably like Chax or maybe Kiri or someone come on for one of my daily Decembers, and we can just talk about the character creation process, just to give people an idea of how I do it.
Okay, no los dos.
Because Kiri's really busy, and you're busy too, and...
Not so much. Break's about to start.
Oh, that'll be nice. Kiri is doing amazing things right now, so...
Kiri's always doing amazing.
She is. It's unfair. Anyway.
What happens when you're Faye?
Yeah. As far as other announcements, I think that's really about it. Tears of the Realm should be happening on Saturday. And then, again, this particular campaign is only for the month of December. So this is the first episode. We will play every Wednesday in December, and then it's gone. It does not exist anymore, except in our hearts. And if I could ever give everyone back again for maybe like a charity event or something. But that's what we said about the Power Rangers campaign last year, and that still is on hiatus.
You lie, sir. It will also be on YouTube.
Oh, it'll also be on YouTube, so yeah. Check out my YouTube's youtube.com/Trainer Jody. Well, always cool stuff there. So, that being said...
Hey, Jody, hate to interrupt you, but I sent you an important message on Roll20.
Oh, Roll20.
I tried to also do it on Discord, but it's like...
Something will happen after this important message.
Oh, do I have his character spelled wrong?
Well, I'll try to do it quietly. There you go.
That's fine. I make mistakes regularly. I thought I got it here. Let me look here. No, because it's... Alright. I have to change things. Now you guys get to see behind the curtain. Boom! Everything is different now. Don't stop it.
Please hold.
All right. Now it's time. So it is time for us to enter the world of Fabula Ultima. And I have music. It is a world of magic and mystery. Science and secrets. 4 nations rule most of the known world. The nation of Verdawant, with the powerful Earth Crystal gives them verdant fields and almost unlimited food, allowing their citizens to never fear hunger, but also allowing their magic-fueled aristocracy to sometimes forget the troubles of the lower class. The Wind Crystal Nation, it is much louder than I expected it to be. The Wind Crystal Nation of Theowal, whose cities soar through the sky, powered by the infinite winds supplied by the Crystal of Wind. Nation open and welcoming to all who do not fear the sky. The Fire Crystal Nation of Imperius, with limited heat to power their steam-powered inventions, a technological society that rules their continent by binding it to their will. And finally, the Water Crystal Nation of Laliel, secretive society who lives almost exclusively underwater in their magic and machine-powered cities. But our story does not focus on the world, doesn't focus on a nation, focuses on 5 individuals whom, before this day, thought them simply people existing, trying to live out the lives that they wanted, but will soon discover the fate of the entire world rests on their shoulders. Fabula Ultima, and for those of you that don't know, we are all brand spanking new to this, so I'm going to be teaching the game as we go. So every so often I will go from GM mode to trainer mode. This is trainer mode. Fabula Ultima is set on the idea of scenes. We will move action and things through various scenes that allow us to kind of set the mood, set what's going on, and then the players get to kind of react to the things that are going on. So our first scene is in a lush forest. And where did I turn off the music? There we go. Amentus. It has been a heck of a couple of days. You were traveling around the nation of Imperius, and over the past few weeks you've noticed someone has been following you through the nation of Imperius, and eventually it came to a head when a group of masked individuals stopped you and started asking you questions about things that you knew nothing about. They eventually became aggressive, and all at once the world went white as your chest burned with some kind of flame you'd never experienced before. Suddenly you were in a verdant paradise. Looking around you, you could see trees growing up hundreds of feet, foliage everywhere. You could see squirrels running up trees, little birds flying around. You had never seen so much life in one place. Suddenly a little hummingbird comes and just kind of stops right in front of your face, kind of examining you, and then flies off. Oh, this music is much louder than I expect it to be, and it gets louder as it goes. So that was a few days ago. You've been in these verdant wilds for a little while now. You've encountered a few people that all seem to react the same way. They seem shocked to see you, having never seen an automaton before. But they seem pleasant enough. You've discovered that you have been transported nearly to the other side of the world, from the fire crystal nation of Imperius all the way to the earth crystal nation of Verdawant. But you've still kind of kept to your goals of helping people, protecting those that can't. For the last day or so, you've been getting that strange feeling again. You feel like someone is watching you, searching for you. And now as you enter into a slight clearing, where you can finally see the canopy thin enough that you can see the beautiful sky blue sky above you. A few clouds are waiting up there. You can feel the life all around you. You can smell the water dripping off of the leaves after the rainfall last night. However, you can feel someone's watching you. What would you like to do?
See if I can scan the area and determine if there's a certain... if something stands out.
Absolutely. I am going to have you roll. This will be our first roll of the game, so congratulations, Jax. I'm going to have you roll an inspect check, which is insight and insight. The way that Fabula Ultima works is you have 4 attributes. You have dexterity, willpower, insight, and might. And any roll that you make is going to be a combination of those 2 things. It might be 2 of the same, or it might be 2 different. And every character has a die somewhere between a d6 and a d12 assigned to each one of those. So, and something I forgot to mention to Mad Spike before we went live, and it's actually just good advice for anyone that's running an RPG online and streaming it. Whenever you make your rolls, be sure to read out your rolls. It's more entertaining, and the audience can't see your rolls. So anyway, Amentus, what'd you get for your inspect check?
7.
7. Okay. So looking around and kind of scanning the environment, you've kind of discovered through helping a lot of people that your vision works slightly differently than other creatures due to your kind of robotic nature. And so going around, you start noticing things that a lot of people wouldn't. But unfortunately, you can't tell what it is that is causing you to feel like you're being watched. While this is going on, Murata, for you, the past week has been very different than it has for Amentus. You've been traveling through the wilds, getting dangerously close to the Earth Crystal Wilds, the area that, while you've been there and succeeded, is not a place that you wish to return anytime soon. You've had to deal with some curious onlookers that have tried to figure out what was going on with you, and a few creatures that you felt were best dealt with in a more aggressive manner. But finally, your search seems to be over. In a clearing about 100 feet away, you're fairly certain the automaton you have been searching for is in front of you. And as far as you can tell, it hasn't seemed to notice you. What would you like to do?
Hmm. I'd like to just stay quiet right now.
Okay.
Continue to observe.
Awesome.
I'd like to figure out, or if I can determine if they're on a path somewhere or heading somewhere specific, if I can.
Absolutely. Why don't you roll me a discretion check? That'll be dexterity and dexterity. That'll help you to kind of hide, and it'll also be how you kind of infer where they might be going.
A 10.
10. All right. So, as you're in a heavily wooded forest, even with your kind of large size and your bulky armor, it's not very difficult for you to find places that obscure your figure pretty well. These are massive trees, there are vines growing from them, and so you're able to hide relatively effectively. Looking at where this automaton has walked and has been walking, it seems almost random to you. Like there doesn't seem to be a direct path. You know of a few towns within a few days of where you are here, and they haven't seemed to go towards anyone specifically. And now they've just stopped in this clearing and seem to be looking around, though as far as you can tell, they haven't noticed you being there. Anything else you'd like to do, or you just want to continue kind of observing?
I just want to I want to follow if they continue to move.
Okay, makes sense.
Yep.
Aikido. The past few days have been less than pleasant for you. Walking around the submerged cities of Lalial is relatively simple, even when you are attempting to be as secretive as possible. Walking through the wilds of the Earth Crystal Nation is significantly more difficult. You found yourself having to climb trees, swing on vines, everything you can to keep your quarry from noticing you. Luckily, he seems to be so focused on tracking whatever it is that he's tracking, he seems oblivious to the fact that he himself is being tracked. About 100 feet in front of you, you watch as the armor-clad individual hides behind a tree. And you can see, about 100 feet ahead of him, you can see a strange, as far as you can tell, armor-clad individual just stopping in a clearing and looking around. It's obvious to you that this is the quarry that your quarry has been tracking as he starts to hide himself and seems to be getting into a better position for observation. What would you like to do?
Can I try to tell more about his quarry?
Sure. Why don't you make me an inspect check? That'll be insight and insight.
Okay, 11.
Wow. You guys just keep rolling higher and higher. As you look, probably the first thing that jumps out at you is the fact that whatever armor they're wearing is incredibly form-fitting. It's obviously made of metal. And you also notice that they seem to wear a few things over it as well, which seems slightly odd to you. But the helmet that they're wearing is so form-fitting that it doesn't look like it should fit. Like either their head is very, very small, or the metal itself is so thin that in your experience it shouldn't provide almost any protection and might more be as a way to conceal their identity. You do notice as they turn around, their eyes appear to glow slightly. you're not exactly sure what to take of that, other than obviously there must be some sort of magic involved. Yeah. So with that knowledge, is there anything you would like to do?
I will, um, I will try to, take it and if his swimming pool that you follow, I'll try to move from a distance between them. So
So basically, just keep it.
maybe I can cut that for first and see what he might be after.
Okay. So kind of keeping them both in your sight, but maybe shifting
Yeah.
a little bit more towards the armored figure. Okay. Back to Amentus. The feeling just isn't going away, but you've looked 3, 4, 5 times now. There's nothing there, at least nothing that feels like it's hunting you. You've even started looking for predators, maybe a panther or something like that is around here, but no, you've seen a few badgers running around, which you know they can be vicious, but generally you need to attack them for them to want to attack you. And then obviously some squirrels and birds and that. Nothing that would give you this feeling, but it's definitely still there. What would you like to do?
Mentis is going to sort of go back and hug the tree line,
Okay.
and I'm gonna have them like try and dodge into the tree line and maybe like try to find some sort of coverage, either by going up high or whatever is in the area, just to try and get behind that.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make me a discretion roll. That's dexterity plus dexterity.
Okay. Nine.
9. So as you move your way in, you start trying to kind of hide yourself. I'm going to have both Akito and Murado, if you guys would be kind enough to roll me inspect checks. That's insight plus insight, to see if you can keep your eye on Amentus as they attempt to vanish.
I rolled a 7.
7, okay. You are muted, Scott.
I rolled a 7.
So, as Akito, as you were kind of repositioning yourself and doing your best to stay hidden from the others, you watch as Amentus, this armored figure, moves towards the tree line. You lose sight of them for just a moment, and when you readjust, they're not there anymore. Amentus, as you kind of come forward, you realize that the tree that you're near is slightly hollowed out, and so you're able to kind of duck into it. And you can actually see, due to just kind of decomposition and things like that, you actually have a few kind of like peepholes that you can see out into the forest. Murada, you as well, as you're watching this automaton like a hawk, suddenly you watch them go behind a tree, and yet again they just vanish. And as far as you can tell, they're gone. I'll start with Murada first. What would you like to do?
I'd like to try to create the sound of some sort of animal to see if I can get them to move. To see if I can provoke a reaction out of where it, to see if I could hear them running or wherever they could have gone, to see if I provoke something.
Absolutely. What kind of animal are you thinking about? Like a predator kind of thing, or something less aggressive?
It would have to be aggressive for me.
Cool. Why don't you make me an intimidate check? That's going to be might and willpower.
11.
All right. You relatively convincingly make the sound of an elder drake. It's a draconic species, not quite dragon-esque, but still relatively large and relatively dangerous. They have the ability to breathe flame and generally are kind of the apex predator of their little area. So as you do that, both Akito and Amintus, you guys hear a relatively convincing sound of an elder drake crying out. What do either one of you two want to do when you hear that?
I could look around and see if I see any signs of a drake.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a. Go to the right screen here. Still learning everything, folks. Go ahead and give me an inspect check, insight and insight. While he's doing that, Amintus. There's too many.
M's and A's.
Well, there's Murado, there's Amintus, there's Akito. I'm just waiting.
Onomatopoeia.
Grande, half calf, mochaccino.
Dan, you're the odd man out.
Amintus, you hear the sound of a elder drake, and both of you would be well aware. Alone against an elder drake would not be something that you would walk away from healthy, if you walked away at all. So, Amintus, you hear this relatively convincing sound. What would you like to do?
How big was the opening that they went into the tree?
Probably a few feet wide at most. It was relatively narrow. The actual tree that you're in is probably about 4 feet in diameter of the place that you're in. Okay.
Amintus is going to take its shield and kind of maneuver it so that it's in front of where the hole in the tree would have been.
Okay.
And then pull down their hood kind of far and try to cut off the light from their eye and see if there's anything that they can see through one of the peoples.
Okay.
From whatever direction, as close as they can.
Sure.
There's people.
Go ahead and make me an inspect check. Insight and insight.
You're giving me all these insights, Jody.
Because you're doing
11.
things that didn't need insight. Yeah, looking around.
I'm trying.
The shield and the fact that you're slightly covering your eyes to kind of hide their glow does make it a little bit more difficult. But looking around, you don't notice a drake or an elder drake anywhere nearby. You do see some movement kind of far off in the forest that doesn't look natural. Like it doesn't look like an animal's movement or anything like that. But beyond that, you've got nothing.
Okay. Amintus is going to pull back and away from the people.
Okay. While all this is going on, Fabula.
Yes.
It has been a day. As you've been traveling to find this strange warrior that's been causing issues in the forest, you have come up against 2 rat families that were feuding, that you were able to kind of mediate between them, despite the fact that you're not particularly adept at speaking rat. you were able to get the general gist of things that were going on and try and get them to at least calm down. You don't think they're ever going to be friends, but you at least stop them from throwing acorns at each other. And then as you were going on, you met this badger that was just having the worst day. It had this thorn in its paw that it couldn't get out. You very easily remedied that, and he didn't even thank you. He was so rude, he just kind of said, yeah, that's good, and then walked away into the forest. And then finally, you come to this clearing, and you can see a creature that you've never seen before. This strange metallic humanoid that you're incredibly excited to find out who they are and the stories that they could tell. But then you also can see that this warrior is you can't see them right now because they kind of hid, but the warrior was coming up. And then you also saw this other guy with something about him. There's like an energy to him that seems kind of dangerous, but kind of not. And then you are absolutely surprised as you hear the sound of an elder drake just rip apart, and you know there's no elder drakes anywhere around here, and there hasn't been for 100 years. What would you like to do?
Okay, so I see them all.
You can't currently see Murado because he's gone and hidden himself behind a tree, and technically you can't see Amintus right now because she's in a tree. But you have seen all of them in the past few minutes, so you're aware that they're all in the area. But right now the only one you can really see is Aikido.
I think I'm like, okay, so I know they're in the area, but I don't know specifically. I know where they disappeared.
Yeah, you basically just lost sight of them, and it's a really thick forest, so it's not an uncommon thing for you to lose sight of people in the forest.
Okay, I know who basically I've been hearing stories about causing trouble up in this forest, so I'm going to try and get up to him.
Okay, go ahead and make me an inspect check. It's insight and insight.
Hey.
This is really good music, by the way. I am impressed.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm guessing I just hit submit because it's asking me for a modifier.
No modifiers, so yeah, just submit.
Okay.
By the way, guys, the soundtrack for Fabula Ultima by a fellow named Son of a Die, as in like the singular form of dice. Really cool guy. You can get his, you can find all his music on YouTube, but you can also buy it on Bandcamp, which is where I got it. So check it out. He's a cool dude.
We'll get a 15.
Okay. Yeah, you know exactly where Murata. I'm never gonna learn these names. You know exactly where Murata is. And the spot that he's hiding, you're actually a little bit impressed. It's a really good hiding spot. Like if you wanted to hide, you probably would have chosen there. Did you want to stealthily approach or just kind of walk up to him?
I'm gonna go this. I'm gonna like equidistant between the two spots where the metal person went into hiding and where Murata is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like between those two spots.
Yep. Not incredibly difficult to do.
Okay.
Anything?
Excuse me, could you all please stop tromping around the forest and making problems for everybody else, please? Thank you.
All of you hear this voice, and without taking too much effort, you are able to see this kind of...
I wave my staff and look down.
You see this small red panda. Well, for a red panda, it's actually a little bit larger than normal, but definitely smaller than an average human. And it's standing on its hind legs, and it has a staff, and it's speaking really clear common.
Hello.
What would you all like to do?
Stop hiding behind the tree. Found you.
Murata's gonna get up slowly and walk over. No harsh intentions, not just casually walk over, At that point, I mean, you'd be able to see, you know, he's got full, fairly tattered bronze armor on. He's got a sword that's sheathed. He's got a shield. It's fairly noisy, as you can hear him actually walk. You know, it's normal armor, but he's gonna walk up and he's just gonna ask, "What are you doing out here right now?"
I live here. What are you doing here?
I am trying. And he's gonna look around to find someone.
They're over there.
Look over.
They're hiding behind the tree.
Do I see anything if I look over there?
They're hiding in the tree.
Hi. With the benefit of him kind of pointing out, go ahead and make an inspect check. It's insight and insight. And I'll give you a +2 to that, since you're getting a bonus here from...
Critical fail, but it was a 2. So, yeah.
So
look at the wrong tree.
Wait, you saw me in the tree?
I looked at the wrong tree.
He was actually pointing at Akito, because he can't actually see you, because you're in the tree, but he can see Akito. Unfortunately, Murata, absolutely no idea what to do or where to look or anything, and you see what you think he's pointing at is actually a raccoon that is just staring at you and just kind of blinking. And you may not be particularly familiar with raccoons, but Fabula, you would be very familiar with just the poor eyesight of raccoons in general, and the fact that this raccoon probably can't even see Murata. But he's just kind of staring in your general direction. Akito, you would have recognized that Fabula was pointing at you, and you're kind of perplexed with the idea that this armor-clad figure still seems completely oblivious to where you are.
No, he's not over. I was pretty sure he was this direction, and I kind of just point around the tree, around, and I don't know what that. No, he's over. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to continue to glance back and forth from the raccoon and Verbal.
Why are you looking at Lyle?
Who's?
That's not...
Goes over, and Verbal walks over to the tree, takes a step, goes clonk, clonk.
It's a good hiding spot, but found you.
So, Akito, now you have a small red panda with a stick kind of knocking on the tree that you've hidden behind, looking right at you.
Oh, my what do you want?
I want to know why you guys are tromping around the forest, disturbing everything.
I was trying to see what he was up to, and I'll point to Murata.
And Murata, you now see a figure clad in a lot of kind of blue leathers with a rapier on his hip and kind of a cold fury behind his eyes.
I'm going to get a little defensive, like hand on the hilt, slowly. And then he's gonna ask the same thing. Why are you out here? Like, you're following me?
Don't be offended. You were following somebody.
That is none of your business.
It's my business. I live here. Y'all are tourists.
Can a Mentis see this?
Yeah,
Hear
you're
this?
seeing the whole thing. You got a little,
Popcorn.
yeah. Put a little oil on it. Goes down nice.
He's gonna Murata's gonna relax and just start walking the direction he thinks. He thinks, well, what is it? My names are gone.
Amentis?
Amentis
Yeah.
went. Yes.
Automaton.
So like from around the tree that I originally thought, I'm just gonna start walking, kind of looking to see if I can track again.
So, Amentis, you watch as Murata is coming closer, and you know that while right now you're hidden, the kind of crack in the tree is large enough that if he gets close enough, it's going to be difficult for him not to see it. So your cover is probably going to be blown relatively soon here, unless you do something creative. So, with that knowledge, what would you like to do?
How much room is there in the tree?
Only about 4-foot diameter, so it's large enough for you to feel kind of okay. If another person were to be in there, you would be very, very close.
So if I was going to go back towards as far away from the entrance and kind of off to the side and wrap my cloak around everything kind of tightly, would that put me in shadows, or would I still sort of be visible?
If anyone looks into the crack, there's really nowhere for you to hide. If they are, probably about at least 5 to 10 feet away from it, that might keep you hidden for a little bit longer. But as soon as they look at all into the crack, it's just not large enough for you to be able to hide your kind of bulky metallic body.
That's fair. Depending on how close Murata gets, before finding me, how close can Murata get? Because essentially what I want to happen is for Amentis to come out of the tree and just kind of be really close to him. Not this kind of close, but enough to sort of be startling if he turned around and suddenly there was someone there.
Because of where the crack is basically facing the clearing. So Murata is going to have to go into the clearing before he can see the crack. So if you wanted to kind of step out right as you get in, he would probably basically walk in and then turn, and you'd be right there.
Perfect. Then yes. So Amentis is going to come out of the tree at that moment.
Okay. So Murata, as you kind of come in, you look around the clearing, you kind of turn back to kind of look at the last place that you saw the automaton, and suddenly the automaton is right there within about 5 feet of you. Just seemed to kind of wink into existence as far as you could tell.
Okay. Would I, from following in the past, for however long, would I understand that they are non-threatening, immediately, or
it's only been within the last day that you've actually gotten close enough that you've been able to see them. So from that point, you can see that in addition to their cloak, they have these two kind of massive shields, one on each arm, and they stand relatively tall, at least as tall as you are. And having never met a robot before, you're not really sure what to make of physiology, but they seem well built enough that if one of those shields was to swing in your direction, you would feel it.
Sure. Murata's kind of gonna speak up, I guess. Getting fairly startled, just all of a sudden seeing that they were there. Would you? He's kind of confused as to not wanting to. Not expecting an immediate interaction and not wanting to come off as mean. Do you know anything about the waking lands?
No.
I think Furble, because from his perspective, he just sees this dude from a different angle talking to a tree.
Yeah.
And
All
the
you can
tree
see is
just-
talking to a tree, and the tree responds.
Yeah.
Furble comes around.
New
It's like-
skill.
Yeah.
You're like,
so
wait a minute.
do I.
So yeah, now you guys are all kind of in the very edge of the clearing, and you can see this robot is standing there with this very nice kind of blue cloak.
Metal thing! This is the other thing I heard about tromping around here. Hi,
Hello.
I'm Furble.
Is that why you've been following me?
Well, apparently this one was following you, and this one was following him, following you, and I was trying to get you all to stop making a ruckus here in the forest.
For the Waking Lands.
Yes. What do you know about it?
I have never been there.
Can I like insight check? Like, are they just can I tell if they're lying?
Sure. If you wanted to use, let's try something weird. Let's say insight and willpower.
Insight and willpower?
Yep. I'll have you roll
Okay.
insight and willpower.
A 7.
7. Okay. Having never met a metallic humanoid before, Poker Face doesn't begin to describe it.
Yeah.
Like it's remarkably difficult to tell, but you have done extensive kind of research as you've been going through all of this. You know for a fact the reason that this particular creature is wanted in Imperius is because of their connection to the Waking Lands. And that has come through from multiple channels that you've been in contact through your other kind of connections in your revolutionary nature. So
Gotcha.
as much as if they were lying, you would not be able to tell, but it conflicts with what you know, if that makes sense.
Right. I'm gonna look down at Furble. What do you know about the Waking Lands?
Now it's a long way from here.
I'm gonna look
I've traveled a lot of places. I've never been there. I'm not above going there. Long way from here, though.
Yeah, I believe it is. I'm gonna look around. Do I see Akita anywhere?
I believe Akita, did you mention that you walked into the clearing too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Akita's standing there with you guys.
Okay.
What is the importance of the Waking Land?
I cannot tell you, but I would like to go there. And I wanted to know if it was going to be an easy trip or not.
You cannot tell us yet you seek information.
I know you're a long way from here. I know that's time travel distance alone. You're pretty far away.
Amintus, as this conversation has been going, you started, ever since they mentioned the Waking Land, you started feeling kind of that heat build up in your chest that you felt before. And every time they mention it, it seems to get kind of hotter and hotter. And it's getting to the point where it's starting to feel uncomfortable for you.
They're not going to say anything, but they are going to kind of like start to move just their torso slightly back as it gets hotter and hotter.
The rest of you, other than seeing Amintus, his stance kind of shift a little bit, you can't really tell that anything different has happened. Akito, what would you like to do? You've now kind of seen all this, and you've heard what Murata is looking for.
Oh, they will. They it was like everything is open. All to Bavaria. And we had a represent and I was gonna make to you. But I'll wait till we're alone. And I'll edit that into a method and football.
Well, I don't know how y'all ended up here, but maybe you should come back with me to my village, and then we can see what needs to be done. Incidentally, there's a Drake out here, and there hasn't been one here in a very long time, and it sounded wounded, and that's not a good thing to hear in this forest. So I think we should go.
You know what? I agree. You, a automaton, you come as well. Follow me, us, and I'll look around.
Mintus, as he says that, you can feel the kind of burning sensation in your chest getting hotter and hotter. And you've experienced this once before within the next few seconds here, something is going to happen. What would you like to do?
Mintus pulls out her shields.
Okay. So you watch as Mintus kind of gets into a fighting stance and starts kind of guarding herself from some unknown enemy.
Say please! Say please!
Please.
No, I'm talking to this one.
Points to Barada.
Yeah. Please follow us to his village. No, like, am I saying it right? Like, is that what you wanted?
Yes, you said please right.
Oh, yes.
As you guys are all doing this, you watch as Amintus starts to glow with this white, hot light. And you can see their eyes start to shine significantly brighter than they have. And you can see these kind of beams of light kind of shooting out from Amintus, and they start to kind of rise into the air, and suddenly the entire world goes white.
I'll take some step back, I guess. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
pretty much
Okay.
a reaction.
So while this is going on, Silas. Everything keeps coming up, Silas. You got a great deal when you sold those parts a few days ago. You have been having a great time. Like, every time you go into the Waking Lands, you come up with something even more impressive. And about half of it is actually useful for the different inventions that you're trying, and the other half is just plain valuable. You found things with, like, copper wiring and a few with gold wiring in it. Really high quality pieces of stuff. But that weird kind of brighter than bright area of the Waking Lands has been intriguing you. And so for the past about 4 hours, you've been moving as quickly as you can. You've noticed quite a few more monsters than you're used to. You've seen, before I say the wrong thing, you've seen some dreadmoths, you've seen some oozes, you even saw a drake kind of wandering around that you're able to hide away from. But it hasn't been like this packed in a long time. Eventually, you can see this area that seems brighter than most. You can see in the very center, there is this very bright pinpoint of light. It almost looks like a white flame that's just kind of hanging in the air. What would you like to do?
I will turn to my companion and say, Scrappy, I think this might be it. Come on.
Scrappy kind of goes down and wags his tail and then just starts kind of wandering around, and then you see him kind of stiffen up and get into a defensive stance. Look for you, kind of looking for like acknowledgement that he can move forward.
Yeah, let's go.
And he goes again. After about 10 feet, he does the same kind of ritual.
Just gonna keep nodding.
Okay.
Um,
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to kind of head towards that light and kind of check it out.
Okay. As you get within about 50 feet of it, you can actually feel some heat coming off of it. It's not unpleasant, but it's kind of got the same like heat signature as like a large bonfire. To where if you get too close, you know it'll probably get uncomfortable. But you'd have to be very, very close to it to get to that point.
Okay. I guess, do I see... Is there anything powering it? Or anything that might be causing it? Or would it be having some kind of tech... Excuse me. Some kind of tech or magic that might be causing it? Like some kind of power source? Or is it having an effect on the area around it?
Why don't you roll me a insight to see what you can kind of figure out from it.
Six.
So looking at it, it's a big floating ball of fire. You think is the technical term. But as far as you can tell, that's all it is. You don't see a fuel source for it. You see it's just a big white flame.
I will start like looking around the area of the flame to see what might be drawing it here, or...
It seems like the flame itself seems to be at the center of ruins. There are various ruins in the Waking Lands. Some of them are more intact than others. These are some of the least intact ruins you've seen. You can see some like path stones coming in, and you can see a few places where there might have been walls at one point. It has a circular orientation to the point that it might have maybe has been maybe an amphitheater, or maybe just a large circular room of some sort. But it is dead center in this ruin.
That seems odd. I guess I will try to get a little bit closer to see if I can glean any details from it.
Okay. As you get closer, you watch as the flame itself just starts to kind of flicker, as if someone were like blowing on the flame. And then you watch it get larger and larger. You can feel the heat radiating off of it much higher than it was before. You can see some of the plant life around starting to singe a little bit. Scrappy kind of looks at you with this worried look in his eyes, and he kind of bears down. And he starts moving in front of you to get between you and that, but you can feel him kind of walking back and trying to push you backwards.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a cue from Scraps and try moving back away, trying to see if I can get some cover.
So as you move back, suddenly the world goes white as the flame seems to explode. And as you kind of blink your eyes, you look around, and the first thing that you notice is the ruins aren't there anymore. They're not destroyed, they're just not there. The second thing you notice is the ruins seem to have been replaced by a red panda wearing clothes and a stick, a taller gentleman with a rapier in mostly kind of blue leathers, a larger gentleman in tattered bronze armor with a sword and a shield, and then a figure made entirely of metal. wearing armor.
Okay, this is an unusual find. He will look at the metal figure and go, "You are spectacular."
The rest of you are kind of blinking, and as your eyes adjust, you can see this strange figure wearing green and carrying a very large backpack. Seems to have pockets everywhere and pouches and all these other things. And next to him is this dog made entirely of metal.
With like mismatched eyes.
Yeah.
I think Verbal came into this just scream. Ah! Hello.
Hi,
And the red panda is talking to you now.
you can talk. That is
So
also
can you.
spectacular. Well, yeah, I haven't met many talking red pandas before.
Well, I haven't met very many pocket people. You're covered in.
Oh yeah, yeah. You like to keep a little bit of a little bit of everything. I'm a scavenger. I come around here and I scavenge things. That's how I got all the parts for Scrappy here.
Well, I don't know if I've seen anything that bright before. Where did you come from? Who are you? What is going on?
Yeah, what?
We're not in the forest anymore.
No, you guys are forest. You guys
Immediately
there's a forest around here?
looks to Amentus. How do you do that?
You're muted.
Amentus is just going to stay silent and watch. Has the burning feeling gone away?
There's kind of the residual feeling. This has happened once before. So your chest, and it kind of has like a heartburn kind of a feel to it, but it's slowly kind of dissipating.
Okay.
Hello? How'd you do that, Pat? Hello?
So, just to be clear, you said the ruins themselves are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like I'm in a different place? Or
As
is
you
it the-
as you now can kind of look around, you do not recognize any features.
Where are we?
You do realize it still has the ambient light. You were still in the waking lands, but you navigate a lot by what's it called? Things, whatever that's called. Landmarks.
Landmarks?
There we go. You navigate a lot by landmarks. You do not see a single landmark. And the waking lands are large enough that it could take days, sometimes more than a week, to be able to walk across the entire distance of it. And it's dangerous enough that you really haven't gone, like, when you went to these ruins, that's the furthest in you've really gone before.
So, okay, okay, this is bad. Do you
I don't know. It looks kind of nice.
No, it looks nice. That's what gets you.
Where are we?
You guys are in. This is the Waking Lands. That's what that
Looks to Murata.
happened.
Hey, okay. There you go. Did you do
Yeah,
this?
well,
You do this, you do this. You do this, you do this.
I just
did
want to
this?
look. I want to look around and just take in what I see. Where are we? What are we? What is?
So, looking around, probably the strangest thing about this area is there is ambient light everywhere. It doesn't come from a particular source. It's just the entire area seems to be lit by some invisible light source. And the first time anyone comes here, it's a little bit rough on the eyes. If you've ever kind of walked out after snow when it's sunny out, and you get that instant reflection of the light off the snow. Kind of that same experience. But looking around, you can see you went from a forest with massive trees to a much more hilly field area where you can see kind of hills in the distance that get up, probably a few hundred feet at the top of them. Very kind of glacial. I can't remember the term for it. Looks like Wisconsin. And you can see, trees in various places and a lot of grass everywhere. And every so often you will see things kind of sticking out of the ground that obviously are not meant to be there. Some of them actually look like ruins. Other of them just look like chunks of metal and other things that you would expect to see somewhere closer to Imperius.
Okay.
And for those of you wondering, this is where the Waking Lands is on the map.
I had the wrong character sheet.
I'll look at Amentus. Look back and I'm going to ask, how did you do that?
You did that?
Damn mute.
I don't know.
What did you even do?
Oh, this is bad. This is bad.
I know it's kind of cool. We went from the village to here. This
Have any of you
is awesome.
not awesome? This is how people get driven mad and die. So,
How do people die from this?
slowly, and by being driven mad. So,
How are you
much do
driven
I
mad?
feel like I already have.
So, you guys are in the Waking Lands. How many of you know what that means?
I'm aware of it as a place.
So, there is a constant background illumination here. It makes it very difficult to sleep. Some can't sleep. No offense, living beings need sleep. We need it to reset our cognitive processes, to survive, to stay sane. If you can't sleep, you can't function. I have spent my life navigating these places, and even I've had a couple of close calls. I've known people who have come in here and never come back out. And I am very careful to know where I am, how to get out, what way is lightward and what way is anti-lightward. I don't know where we are anymore. Do any of you know where we are? You guys mentioned something about a forest.
Yeah, where I remember we were in Furtherward.
I don't believe you're in Verdwood anymore.
Well, yeah.
Duh.
You said you can get us out of here. How do we get out?
Yeah.
If we were where I thought we were, I could get us out. I don't know where we are anymore. I just know we're in the Waking Lands. Somewhere.
Can I look at Amen? Go ahead.
I feel like you might be the closest thing we have to someone that could get out. And where they do that thing again.
Right. I gotta figure out where we are.
Can I look at Amentus and see if, I guess, inspect to see if there's still light there, if it's doing anything? Is it responding to the lights around?
Looking at Amentus, they look like they did before the big bright flash. Like their eyes are no longer light. They're no longer white. They're not floating in the air anymore. I mean, that's definitely a plus. But if you didn't know that it had happened, you wouldn't be aware that it happened. There's nothing to indicate that they have that kind of ability.
Why can't you sleep here?
So, if you close your eyes, you still see light.
Can you not
can't-
cover them?
It doesn't matter. The
Why?
light is everywhere. It infuses everything.
Verbal just like does that. Like,
Yeah, as you cover your eyes, it still feels like you can still see light, even with your eyes covered. You can't see anything physical, but it's almost as if you'd closed your eyes and somebody had like a flashlight pointing at your eyes, even as you cover them more.
You can.
Can
last-
confirm.
It messes up with the circadian rhythms. I don't know if you sleep or not. That was rude of me to assume. Do you sleep? Do you not need sleep?
No. Not as you do.
Okay. You may be fine.
Thank you. And they walk away.
Okay. As you turn, you feel the ground as you step out a new place. You feel the ground squish beneath your feet, and as you try to lift your foot out of whatever sludge you've just stepped in, you realize that you can't. And then you watch as the ground itself, this strange grayish ooze, starts to kind of go out and starts wrapping itself around your leg.
Amentus is going to crouch down and touch it.
Okay.
Poke it.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, there are other ways to die.
As
Monsters,
you
oozes. I heard a Drake earlier.
as you poke it, you see one of the kind of tendrils of this slime thing going up your leg starts to kind of peel off, and you watch as it forms a vaguely snake-like head. And as it looks at you, I need to get some dice. That one and that one. As it looks at you, it kind of moves its head back a little bit and then goes to bite you. And yeah, I've got 11. Does 11 defeat your defense?
Let me check. Wrong paper. No.
Okay, so as this thing goes and tries to bite you, it gets your shield, and you watch as it just kind of is like numbing on your shield, and you can feel it squeezing your leg and trying to crush it. But the combination of your bronze mail and the fact that you have a metallic body, it's really just kind of massaging your calves at this particular point. The rest of you kind of look around, and you can see 3 more of these kind of ooze creatures starting to kind of form. And then you also see as these 2 kind of beautiful moths start descending. Very, very large, beautiful moths start descending. And I think it's time for us to make an initiative check. So, the way initiative works in Fabula Ultima is it uses what's called a group check. And the way a group check works is you will choose one person to be the leader of the check. Because initiative is a dexterity-based check, you probably want to choose someone with a decent dexterity. Everyone else is going to help by making an initiative check. And if you give me 2 seconds to remember how... Okay, so initiative is a dexterity and insight check. So the first thing I want you guys to do is you need to choose your leader. So who wants to be the leader?
Nope, not it.
I'm drawing a sword, so whatever everybody else thinks.
Okay.
Yes.
Probably the easiest. How about you guys all, because it's dexterity and insight, so why don't you guys start by going, who has a dexterity and insight score?
Gotcha. I'm mid, so
Okay.
I'm in the middle.
Yeah, I've got an 8 and a 10, and my initiative is -2.
Okay.
Same.
I also have I do think I have a minus.
No, you have a flat roll. I think you're the only person without a minus to your initiative.
Okay.
You win.
I
don't
yeah.
have a,
Yeah.
So the way
I don't have a minus.
Oh, you don't? No, bronze armor should give you a -2.
Oh, then just kidding. I'm looking in the wrong place.
Okay. So what I'm going to have everyone do, Scott, you're going to wait. I want everyone to make a dexterity, insight, initiative check, and you're looking to beat a 10 or higher. So you want to roll a 10 or higher.
Can I just hit the initiative button, or is that going to
Theoretically, that should work. Yes.
Even though I have a -2, do I have to enter in -2 modifier?
Why don't you go ahead and roll it, and we will see what comes out, because
Okay.
I should be able to look and see what it does. So it does. It looks like it does add your -2 already.
Oh,
So
yeah, there it is. Yeah.
The that would be if I gave you an additional modifier to it.
Oh, okay.
So let's start with Fabula. What did you get?
I got a 7.
Okay, so no help there. Silas.
I got a 6 with doubles.
Well, that's a critical success. So that's really nice.
Oh,
The way that critical successes and failures work in this is if you roll doubles and the doubles are at least a 6, so double 6s, double 7s, double 8s, double 9s, double 10s, double 11, double 12s, that counts as a critical success. You automatically succeed in what you're doing. And you get some cool stuff. You create what is called an opportunity. And so an opportunity is just you get something very nice. I'll list off a few of them. If any of you guys have the core book open on anywhere, page 41 has the opportunities table. I meant to cut it out so you guys can see it, and I just forgot. So by the next time we play, I will have the opportunities table in the journal tab for you guys. But, and I can change the music since we're no longer exploring, we're in battle.
Ooh.
So, the different opportunities, basically just something good happens. One of them, the next check performed by you or an ally gets a +4 bonus, which would basically be Scott's initiative check. You could create a bond towards someone, which you haven't talked about bonds just yet, but if you are starting to feel a strong relationship forming between one of the characters you've just met, you can create a bond, and that becomes beneficial for you. You could get just information. Still very loud. There we go. You can do plot twist, which is just someone or something of your choice suddenly appears on the scene. Or you could discover one vulnerability or one trait of a creature that you can see. So, any of that sound nice?
I'm gonna be simple and just go for the advantage.
Awesome. So, Murata, what did you get for your check?
A 9.
9, okay. Still not useful. Amintus.
I got a 6, but I also rolled double 4s.
Okay, so double 4s doesn't count as a critical because it has to be a minimum of 6s.
6, right?
So, So the way this normally works, for each person that succeeds in their initiative check, we add 1 to your initiative roll. So right now, you have a +1 to your initiative roll. However, because of the opportunity, you get a +4. So, Scott, if you want to roll initiative with a +5.
Alright. So,
Could I further help the situation knowing this now, since we're kind of learning as we going?
14.
14, okay. I'm sorry, what did you ask for, Furball?
Could I have, knowing this now, could I have further hit the situation if I was able to increase my initiative, or would that not be applicable here?
How would you increase your initiative? Sorry. Luck. Sorry, remind me how that works? What are you referencing?
My lucky number.
Oh! In this particular instance, because your lucky number is 7.
It starts out 7.
Yeah.
Like, say if I replaced my 4 with a 7, and then that makes it 12.
Basically what would happen
Or 12
is...
would be 10.
Scott's roll would be 1 point higher, which is not a massive difference. He already has a 14, which is a pretty high roll. So I would probably say hold on to it unless you really want that 4.
Nope. No, thank you.
So just to make things go faster, I'm just going to make 1 initiative check for everybody. I got a critical success. So I got a 16 for their check.
Dang.
So what I'm going to have you guys do, if you want to drag your tokens into the white box on the right, this is our battlefield that I think is very cool, and I made myself.
Yes.
One thing
Mm-hmm.
my initiative,
Uh-huh.
it was an 8 and a 1, but would that be a fumble?
Nope. Fumble only happens when you roll snake eyes.
Oh, alright.
Okay. So... I'm going to shift you over slightly, Scott, because you're slightly out of frame. There we go.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so...
I have a bad habit of...
So what I want you guys to do, in that box, put your characters kind of in a line like you would see in your kind of standard JRPG, towards the front of the box, because you're going to be moving your characters backwards when you finish your turn. Spike, if you've never done this before, if you go to the journal screen and you click on your character's name and then drag it out onto the map, your token should appear and you can kind of move it.
I am.
Very cool tokens, right? Everyone's got cool tokens.
Very proud.
So yeah, go ahead and put you guys all in a line, including you, Amintus, if you want to move up with the rest of your buddies.
Yep. Sorry, I was drawing lines on accident.
Not a problem.
Hold on. Sorry. I'm going. There we are.
And then for me, you guys
No,
have
fine.
Ooh, that's cool.
3 oozes and 2 moths. So, the way that combat works is whichever side wins initiative gets to go first. So, and what will happen is one of their units will go, and then one of your units will go, and you guys kind of trade off. Anyone can go in any order as long as it's your turn, team's side. So the kind of strategy from this is really deciding who goes first and things. So we are going to start off with one of the dread moths are going to start. And you watch as this dread moth starts kind of flying and beating its wings very, very fast. And just because of the order we have, I am going to go... What do we have for your... Dex is a D10. Might is a D8. It's the same ones. Oh no, Might and Willpower. So D8 and D8. Cool, I'll just have to... I don't have a second D8 on me. D6s. I have not used these dice in years. This is my dice bag I used to bring to all of my conventions that I went to. There's another D8. So, we'll roll 2D8 against
It's
all.
been years. Years, years.
Well, I'm rolling like I used to. So, does a 6 beat any of your magic defenses? And that's going to be Fabula, Aikido, and Silas.
No.
Okay. I don't think it should. I don't think any of you have a low enough magic defense that would hit.
Scrappy's magic defense is 6.
6. Okay, so Scrappy gets hit. Scrappy suffers the poisoned condition. And Amintus, as you are watching...
Can they?
yeah, just like any other creature. Oh, wait, no, I think because they're a construct.
he's a
he's
con-
He's a
immune.
metal dog.
So he suffers the poison condition and doesn't care. Honey Badger don't care. Or Meadow Wolf don't care. So, Amintus, as you watch this, you see this monster
No.
casting this spell, and you suddenly kind of understand how it works. And if you would like to use your Chimerist ability, you can learn that spell.
I would.
All right. So, I'll give you the text of it a little bit later, but effectively, it's a magic attack cost of 10 times the number of targets. You can target up to 3 creatures, and anyone you hit gets the poison condition, and it's called Poison Cloud. And you should also mark somewhere on your sheet the name of the creature you got it from, which is Dreadmoth. So that being said, what I'm going to do to indicate which ones have taken their turn is I'm just going to move it to the back here. So you guys can see all 4 of these have been yet to take their turn, and that one's already taken its turn. So that being said, who on your side wants to go first in combat? Please,
I'll
everyone,
go.
don't go all
Yep,
at
I'll
once.
go.
Awesome.
I'll go.
So, effectively, combat, you have an action. And that's all it is. The 2 moths are flying creatures, so they cannot be targeted with melee attacks.
Right. I will. I guess first things first is we're gonna summon Enkidu.
Okay,
That makes sense right now.
absolutely. And then did you want to use your quick summoning ability to either use the pulse or decrease the cost?
I will decrease the cost. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys watch as Murado pulls out his sword and brings his shield to bear. You watch as he kind of slams them together. Or I'll ask you, how do you see yourself invoking Enkidu?
I would similar to that,
Okay.
he's got the sword and shield out, and he almost like bundles up a little bit, like crossing his arms, crossing both, and then you can see from under his armor, almost like a darker smoke kind of come out from the armor, and then slowly that smoke goes around his sword until it almost starts. It spirals around the sword until it slowly starts glowing more, like
Okay.
glowing red, almost like red hot, but it's not necessarily hot. But yes.
So you guys watch as he does that, and you can see the smoke starting to kind of leak out of his armor, and you watch as it coalesces around his sword, and his sword itself starts to change as the smoke coalesces, and suddenly he's holding a completely different, ancient-looking sword, an extremely powerful sword. Any of you that have heard legends of the great warrior Enkidu, would recognize this as his signature god-slaying sword.
Is that would be my action?
So that is
right?
your action for this turn. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, ready to rumble.
So that's going to go back here, and one of the slimes is still very much enamored with Amintus, and so he's just going to kind of get closer. You see him kind of rear up and try to take a swipe at you again. Dex and might. See if I can roll better than I did before. About the same. That's going to be an 8 versus your defense. So again, it comes up and it just like strikes your breastplate, and you just kind of look at it as it keeps just like attacking you over and over again and doing absolutely nothing. So let's move him back. You guys. Oh, and Murata, if you want to move your character back to show that he's taken his turn this round. Who wants to go next? This is basically how things go.
I will like that.
Okay.
No one else.
Well,
It helps for me to claim anything if I actually unmute myself. Go ahead.
yeah. All right, Akito, what do you wanna do?
I will cast my better weapon on my rapier.
Okay. And what element do you want to choose?
I'll do ice.
Okay. So you guys watch as Akito pulls out his rapier, and as he kind of traces his fingers along, you watch as ice starts to form on the blade, and you can see this kind of cold frost radiating from it. He brings it forward, and I believe you can make an attack on the same turn with that, right?
Yeah. The world that was that is a better.
Awesome.
And that is his favorite that. Ooh. That would be that would be 13.
Okay. So, 13 is enough to hit it. So how much damage do you do? The way that we calculate damage is all weapons are going to have are going to take your high roll. So whichever one of the two dice rolled higher, you take that number and then add it to what your weapon says.
Well, my high roll is a 10.
Awesome.
So 15, and that would be high damage.
So as you move forward, you kind of plunge your rapier into this ooze. As you pull it out, you notice that the ice itself seems to kind of crystallize around it, and actually doesn't seem to do as much damage as you think it should have. And that should end your turn. So if you want to move your token back. Seeing its buddy get attacked, one of the slimes is going to go after you. And he's going to roll a critical hit. So double 8s. So many things about this game I don't remember.
And that would not be 10 MP in my...
Yep. So you can just knock off 10 NP, and then it lasts till the end of the scene, so you don't have to recast it or anything like that. So it's going to... Yeah, it's going to give you an affliction. So, As it attacks you, you take 18 physical damage, and you are going to get the dazed condition. As it hits you so hard that you're kind of blinking a little bit. That being said, that one's done. Furble, did you want to go next since you were muted last time?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'm gonna look at those moth that tried to do something. And he's just like, "No, go away, please!" And he's gonna use Lux
Okay.
on both of them.
Awesome.
And the insight plus willpower.
So you guys watch as Furble kind of strikes his staff on the ground, and you watch this glowing light start to form in the crook of it. And he swings his staff, and you watch 2 bolts of this glowing light just fire off towards these 2 cuckoo creatures. What'd you get?
I rolled a 6 and a 2. I don't like that. I'm gonna use luck for this scene. I'm gonna change the 2 out with a 7, make it a 13.
13. Yeah, as you hit them, they both take it and they get hit hard. You watch as you kind of leave these little bright white scorch marks on both of them. How much damage do you do?
So it'll be high roll plus 15. So that'll be 7 plus 15. I believe it was what it said. Let me just check the formula again.
So
Sorry,
7,
had to actually go to that page.
22, right?
Yes, high roll plus 15. Yes, so 7 plus 15, 22.
22. Cool.
And each target hit by the spell suffers dazed.
Okay. And they are both dazed.
And that cost me, since it's 2 targets, that's 20 points, right? 10 per target.
Yes, 10 per target. So,
okay.
And dazed is their insight goes down, which is not particularly great for them. All right. So that finishes yours. If you want to move your token back. The other moth that hasn't done anything yet is also going to attempt to poison you all. Just double d8s. And he's going to go for Furble.
No.
Aikido, and the one with the funky sword, Murado. So.
Who got hit hard? Aikido?
Yeah, Aikido is the one that got hit hard. So, does a 7 is 13. Does a 13 beat your magic defense? Aikido, Furble, and Murado.
Yeah.
So
It beat mine. My magic defense is 12, so you beat me.
okay. So all 3 of you are now suffering the poisoned condition.
Can Amentis, after watching Aikido go down, use Protect?
Sure. I believe that would mean you would get hit by it instead of Aikido. So you would be poisoned instead. Which...
Can I get poisoned?
Technically, because races are not a thing,
Okay.
you would not be able to get poisoned. But if there was something that involved you trying to resist the poison or something like that, I would probably let you burn a Fabula point if you wanted to re-roll something.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So, yeah. So who did you protect again? It was Aikido?
Yeah.
So, Aikido, you are no longer poisoned, and you are poisoned. For those of you wondering how conditions work, what I'm going to do so I don't keep blocking stuff that I don't want to block, move you over here. The way that conditions work is they will lower your stats. So the poison condition actually lowers both your might and your willpower die by 1 level. So if you had like a D8, it would go down to a D6 for both of those.
Hypothetically, Jam, what happens if you were already at a D6?
You cannot go any lower than a D6.
So how does it?
Go ahead.
How does it work to get rid of conditions?
You can use your action to try and get rid of it using. It's one of the actions you can take. Basically, you can use your action to try and get rid of the condition. You just have to kind of explain how you would be getting rid of that condition. You know, like with the dazed condition. If it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna blink and I'm gonna get myself kind of back focused. There's also abilities that will do that. The different things that you can do on your turn. I should have explained this earlier. You always, as obviously, you have the attack or spell actions, which should be self-explanatory. You have the equipment action, which if you wanted to take something out of your pack or something to use it, you could to equip it or something like that if you had like another weapon or something. You have the guard, which gives you resistance to all damage, a +2 bonus to opposed checks, and you can choose to cover another creature if you want. The hinder, which is basically a way for you guys to just inflict a condition on one of the enemies. You just have to explain how you're going to do it. The inventory, to spend inventory points to do things. And then the study, if you want to learn about the creatures that you're dealing with. And then obviously if you want to do something special that you just want to make up, there's also an other action for just, I want to do something and this is how I'm going to do it, and I'll make you roll. So, make sense?
I think so.
The only creature left is one of the slimes, and that slime, the slime's going to go for the dude with the dog. So, bring back my stat block. But this time, he's going, you watch him as he kind of leans back, and you see him kind of inflate his body and then expel this rush of air at you. Which is Dex Insight, which is even worse. That was a dumb move to make. So, we've got a 7 versus your defense, Silas.
Oh, Silas's defense is 11. So.
Okay. So as this huge burst of air kind of flows at you, you just kind of move your arm up, and you think that they could probably use a mint. But other than it smelling slightly less than nice, it doesn't really do anything.
Oh, I'm sorry, did we take any damage?
No, you just get poisoned.
Okay.
From the Dreadmoth. They can make you take damage, just not with that spell. It's you guys again. Between Silas and Amintus, who wants to go next?
I guess Silas will go.
Go for it.
Silas will use the inventory action.
Okay. What you'd use in the inventory action for?
I'm using the inventory action to craft a magic cannon.
So you guys watch as Silas is seeing all this stuff, and you see him just go, okay. You watch him take off his backpack and start kind of ruffling through. And then you watch him pull out this massive two-handed shotgun-looking thing, kind of sight it a little bit, bring it up, and he can't do anything else because that's his turn. But
I may be wrong. Does the inventory action let me use it or no?
No, the inventory action creates it. However, the magic cannon doesn't have a expiration, so until you, I believe, until you end the day, the magic cannon just continues to exist. So mark off the inventory points used to make it, and then go ahead and move your character back.
Okay, and the damage type I think will be bolt.
Bolt, cool. So you can see like. Finally, Amintus, what would you like to do with your turn?
So since Akito took a fair amount of damage, right?
He got hit pretty bad, yeah.
Yep. Amentis is going to take the guard action. The use bodyguard. Use
Okay.
the bodyguard action? How does that skill?
So the action
How'd
you're
you say
doing
that?
is guard, but you're
Yes.
going to use your bodyguard skill to give him
Yes.
resistance as well, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to use my bodyguard skill.
Okay. So you guys watch as Amintus kind of seeing Akito kind of get his clock rung, kind of goes over, and you watch as she just kind of places herself in between you and the creatures and just brings up both of her shields. And that is the end of combat for that round. So we go back to the beginning. And this time we're going to start with, and you guys can all bring your characters to the front again. We're going to start with a slime, and you can, you watch as the slime kind of like moves and kind of shrinks, and you watch as it starts to glow very slightly, and it sheds some of the injured parts from when it got attacked. And you see it restores its own hit points. So, yeah, doesn't have a whole lot of hit points to restore, but and
Can I
again,
take that spell?
yes, you can. So the spell's called Mellow Dance. 10 magic points, targets one creature. They recover 30 hit points and also recover from one status effect of the Mellow Ooze's choice. So you guys watch as Amintus seems to be kind of studying these creatures very, very closely as they're sitting there kind of guarding. That is that creature's turn. Who wants to go first this time?
Depending, does this how many people are poisoned besides Furble?
Grand total of 3. Furble, Amintus, and Murata.
Does this count as magic that's affecting them? What the moths did to them?
That was magic, yes.
It was magic.
It was a magic spell.
Okay. So, if I can, then I'll go first. I'm sorry, I already blanked on it immediately. So it's Amentus and Murata
Yes.
and Furble.
Yep, Amintus, Murata, Furble.
If I can, I'll go over to Murata first, and so Amentus seems to be tanking and taking some of this stuff. He'll go over to Murata and use Dispel to remove the effect.
Okay. I don't believe there's a roll for that. I think it just happens, right?
Just happens. Yeah. Cost me 10.
So yeah, you watch as he comes over, and since I can use these, I'll just put a poison marker on each one of you guys. You watch as Furble comes over, and he kind of just waves his staff a little bit and kind of touches your arm, and you feel the poison just slowly be kind of sucked out of your system. You watch him kind of look at it there, and he just throws it over his shoulder. So you are no longer poisoned, Murata. So go ahead and move your character. The moth, seeing you do that, the moth is going to dive down and try to nom on you a little bit. So, Dex and Mites, D4 plus D10. So, 12 versus your defense.
Beats it.
Beats it. Cool. Then you take 18 physical damage as the Dreadmoth comes down and just kind of latches onto your arm and takes a bit of a bite off of your arm.
That's a lot for Furble.
Who's up next?
Oh, question. It's attacking me. Just want to make sure. Did the dazed effect matter at all for it attacking me?
Not right. The daze effect, I can't remember which one it lowers. Give me a second here.
Sorry.
Insight. So yeah, the dazed effect would lower your insight die. So it theoretically could lower your magic defense because magic defense is based off of insight. But that attacked your regular defense, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep. Just want to make sure whether or not that would have affected the physical or not. Okay, cool.
Awesome. So, who's up next? Anyone can do it. Murado, do you want to go next since you just got unpoisoned?
Yeah, I will actually.
Cool.
So now holding this much larger sword,
Okay.
I want to use Shadow Strike.
Okay.
So I need to roll a might here.
Okay. So you guys...
And, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm just going to narrate as you make your roll. You guys watch as Murata steps forward. You can see that smoke start kind of pouring out of him again, and you can watch as like dark veins start to grow, and you can see him kind of grimace in pain. And you watch as this energy goes and forms and kind of cakes on to the already kind of massive sword in his hand. What'd you roll?
That was a 5.
Okay.
So that would be, I guess I need to try to
Yep, and now you're going to make an
hit
accuracy
now,
check
right?
with your
Yep.
sword.
Yep. I've got that right here.
I'm assuming you're attacking a slime since you can't hit the moss.
Slime, yeah. What's
Okay.
in front of me, yeah.
Go for it.
That is going to be a 15.
15 definitely hits.
Okay.
So it's the damage. Again, take your high roll and then add it to what your sword damage is supposed to do.
The high roll, I guess I'm judging off of, what it's giving me here and attempting to read that.
So yeah, the damage...
That was accuracy. The damage would just be might, correct?
Yeah,
Just to get it in my head.
So yeah, the damage is your high roll plus 6.
Okay,
normally.
and it did calculate that. So, okay. That plus shadow would be
So it'd
an
be
additional...
So it'd normally be 15. Your shadow strike, because you rolled that might, gives you another 5. And then your merge effect gives you an additional 5. So grand total, that goes 15 plus 5 plus 5 is 25.
That would be it.
Make sense?
Yes, I'll do the math later.
Not a problem. It's the nice thing about rolling the accuracy checks in Roll20s. It will tell you the base damage automatically in there, and then the only thing that you have to figure out is if there's additional damages from spells or other things.
Yep. Well, I was trying to read how it was giving me my high roll, and it did automatically. So
Yeah.
Yep, we're good.
So you guys watch as he steps forward. He kind of swings his shield, and he hits this slime hard. You watch the slime kind of shatter and slowly form back together, but it definitely felt that. That will end your turn. The slime next to the one that you just hit is going to try and nom on you now, because it sees you as a very big threat. As you hurt its friend, and it's very sad about that. So Dex and Might. Let's move, mouse. That's 13 versus your defense.
It matched it.
Okay, so matching it
hit.
counts as a hit.
Yep.
So you take 17 physical damage as it kind of reels back and it goes and strikes at you and grabs onto a piece of your armor. And you can feel it pierce the skin underneath it.
Does this provoke my painful lesson to study?
You are not in crisis yet, and I believe it requires you to be in crisis, right?
Is it in crisis only?
Let me look at it because
I'm double checking as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, quick
No.
summon.
Not that I'm seeing.
Where is it? Painful lesson. Oh no, it's just So you can, if you want to make the study action, which I will tell you exactly how that works in 2 seconds here. Study. No, I want conflicts. This goes a lot smoother when you actually know what you're doing. So I swear this is not nearly. This is all our first thing. It's normally insight and insight. However, with how you're character's kind of built. If you wanted to do insight and willpower, I guess that would make sense as well, just because your willpower, whichever ones you like better. So if your willpower tower is bigger.
Let me double check. Yes, I would do that. So
Okay. So go ahead and make the check, and I'll tell you what you get.
it's gonna be a 6.
6. You're really not sure too much about it. They're very slime-like, and they seem to be able to change their shape at will. But beyond that, you got nothing. Cool. So go ahead and move your character back. I think I forgot to move one of the slimes back when I did his. So the other moth, having been hit by the Lux from before, is going to try to nom on Fabula. D10 plus D8.
You're going after me for it. Go away.
Because you hit them hard.
They started it.
I got an 11 against your defense, your regular defense.
Regular defense, yeah.
Okay. So you take 18 points of physical damage as it again kind of
I'm
bites down on you.
Burbles down.
I was not quite. What do we do? I know that. Sorry. Just looking through how all this stuff works.
Even though I'm using guard, can I do protect again? Is there a reaction?
Sure. I'm good with that.
Okay. I'm gonna
There's-
do that. I'm gonna use protect as an action and take the damage one.
Okay. So ignore that damage. Amintus has taken it for you.
Thank you.
If I can find my character sheet.
Conflicts. Space and distance. Teamworks. Sorry, I'm just looking at what you can do if that happens. Okay, cool. All right, so we don't have to deal with that, but that's done. Cool. Who's up? So that was that. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next,
Okay.
seeing as Fabula looks pretty bad
Mm-hmm.
comparatively to Aikido. They're gonna take bodyguard. Use the bodyguard skill again.
Okay, and you're going to focus on Fabula then?
Yes.
Okay. So you watch as Amintus kind of moves over and goes to protect you. The final slime is going to go towards the big sword dude. Because he looks dangerous. D8, D10. He's going to try to nom on you. I got a 10 versus your defense, Murata. Murata?
Oh, a 10, yes. Does not hit.
Doesn't hit. Okay, so he comes forward and you just kind of bring your shield up and it dings on the shield. You slap it away. We've got Silas or Aikido. Who wants to go first?
Silas can go.
Okay. What do you want to do?
I would like to shoot one of the dire moths out of the air.
Go for it.
I'll choose whichever one has been,
They
whichever one is healthier.
they both have been hit the exact same because they've only been hit by Fabula thus far.
18.
18 definitely hits. How much damage is that going to cause?
Well, my high die was a 10,
Okay.
and it's high roll plus 10, so 20.
20. Not bad at all. So as you hit one of the moths, you can see the bolt of lightning you've basically just shot out of your gun goes and burns a hole in one of the moth's wings. You can see it kind of limping now. The moth is in crisis, meaning it has lost more than half its hit points. And then last one up is Akito. What do you want to do?
Well, did you say about table? I always heard you say that I was saying.
Oh, sorry. It should have been, because I can't remember the high roll, we'll say it was 10 damage.
And I will try to say all the days,
Okay.
but I am trying to clear my head.
Yep. So as you sit there and you kind of shake it off, you're able to get rid of the dazed condition. And we start combat again. Or we start at to the top of the round. This time, one of the moths is going to try to attack Fabula, but is going to be unable to get to Fabula because there is an Amentus in the way. How does a 15 sound, Amentus?
Meets.
Okay, so you're going to take 18 points of the damage as the Dread Moth, despite you kind of blocking as much as you can, it's able to get around one of your shields and kind of clomp down on the circuitry beneath your armor. That ends that. Who's going first this time? Anyone can go first, so...
I can go first.
Okay.
I'm the one that says, and I will cast Great Shield on both of the diamonds.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll. Are you asking what dice you use for that?
No, I hit the button, but it didn't. Say it will power.
So on your character sheet, if it's not rolling the thing that you want it to, if you just go to your stats page, you can manually tell it to roll 2 dice.
So that would be a weapon.
Definitely hits. What's the damage for that? Looks like your high roll's
I
an 8.
roll 115.
So it'll be 23. So magic is nice. So as you sit there, you guys watch as he pulls his sword out and he kind of points it, and you watch as these 2 shards of ice just go flying. The moth that's in crisis, as it gets pierced by this ice shard, just falls down dead. The other one...
Yeah, you suck.
That helps if I hit the right buttons. And the other one, again, gets pierced through one of the wings, and it is now in crisis as well. We'll say this is the one that you killed. So it didn't even get a chance to have its turn yet. So, yeah, that ends that. I believe I've already had one... Or no, the other... Oh, that's what it was the moth did it. One of the snakes seeing you do that, are going to try and nom on you, Akito. That is a 7 versus your defense.
That
Verbal's a little guy that misses him. I'm pretty confident that misses you.
Yeah.
yeah.
On your character sheet, if you click on stats, your defenses are the first 2 things you see.
Oh, yeah.
You see defense there 8, magic defense 10. So just keep,
Yeah. So
those are numbers you should have pretty quick.
yeah.
So it comes forward, and as it bites at you, you kind of twirl your rapier, and you watch as it kind of gets wrapped in your rapiers. You can kind of throw it the other direction. It just goes straight past you. Who's up next? And I'll move you so you know that they're up.
I'll go next. I just want to I want to attack the slime that I had already attacked.
Go
that
for
I was
it.
in front of.
You use another shadow strike or just a regular
No,
attack?
just
Okay.
a regular attack.
Go for it.
So that is going to be 10. That's going to be 15 points of damage.
Was that your accuracy check?
I guess accuracy 6. My bad.
All right, so
I'm gonna miss.
yeah. So as you go to swing at the creature, it kind of dodges out of the way, and you slam into the ground, making this huge kind of slash into the ground. But unfortunately, the slime is unaffected by it. So go ahead and move your Kiki character back. Another slime is going to try and take a nom on you. And that is 15.
That hits.
You take 19 points of physical damage as it bites you as you kind of try to bring your shield up, but it just barely gets a rubber around it. Who wants to go next? All right, go for it, Silas.
Silas will take another shot with his magic cannon.
Go for it.
Ooh. Well, I rolled a 7 with doubles.
All right, well, you're definitely going to hit, and then you also get an opportunity. So why don't you tell me what's the damage first?
So it would be 13.
13.
And sorry, I'm firing at the other dire moth.
Yep.
Or dread moth.
Yep. So it's the total damage of the gun, because it's your high roll plus something, right?
High roll plus 10.
Plus 10, so that'd be 17 because you got double 7s.
No, I got double 3s.
Oh, double 3s does not give you a critical hit.
Okay. I only thought that because the doubles came up in roll 20. So.
Oh, yeah. No, there's one class that you can get doubles to mean this is something, but unfortunately, yeah. So as you take a shot at it, it kind of moves out of the way, and you unfortunately miss.
Darn.
Go ahead and move your Kiki character back. The last slime is going to try to take a shot at Fabula, but again, there is an Amentis in the way. And he gets a 14. So Amentis, as it comes forward, you just kind of bop it with your shield. And that ends that. We've got Amentis and Fabula. Who wants to go first?
Burr just needs to eat. Because I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If poison also affects my willpower and then affects my magic points, does my remainder of magic points also go down as well?
Magic points are based on your maximum die. They are not affected. Hit points are the same way. They're not affected when your die gets smaller. Your defenses are, because they're based on your current die.
Because it said the effect for being poisoned is dex. I'm sorry, not dex. Might and willpower.
Yeah. So those dice go down, but your magic or your mind points are factored based on what your maximum die is, not what your current die is.
Well, because when I moved it down to a d6, my magic points went down.
Don't move it to a d6.
Okay.
Click on the button that says poison.
Yeah.
On your character sheet. If you manually change it, it's going to think that that's your maximum die. If you just click on the button, it will change your current die for you, but it won't affect your magic points because it's not supposed to. Does that make sense?
Okay. All right. Okay, well, in that case, then doesn't look okay. So nothing's affecting me on my magic points then. Okay.
Yeah, no, your magic points are unaffected.
Okay. In that case,
And you have seen that the slimes themselves seem to be somewhat resistant to ice, is all you guys have found out thus far.
yeah. So I'm sorry. I guess I need to clarify. So is the poison condition actually affecting me at all? Because if it's affecting my dexterity and my
Your
my
might, your willpower.
nothing
Yes,
seems to
if
have
you
changed on my character sheet though.
if you try to make an attack or a check that uses either might or willpower, you will have to use the lower dice.
Okay.
So like your magic, I believe your magic skills use insight and willpower for.
Yes.
So that check, instead of what's your willpower normally?
It's normally a D8.
Okay, so instead of using a D8 for that check, you're going to use a D6 because you're
Okay.
poisoned. Does that
In
make
that
sense?
case, okay. Then can I use an inventory point to use tonic to remove?
Yes. It costs, I believe it's 2 inventory points to remove
Yeah.
that. Now I'm starting to remember how that's. So no, you can't just burn your action to do it. You actually have to use inventory points to get rid of a condition. So yeah, if you want to use 2 inventory points, you can reach
Yeah.
into your pack, pull out an anti-venom basically, or an antidote, glug it, and you are no longer poisoned.
Yes.
And that's your turn.
Purely for flavor, you might notice that it's made of a sparkly white blue berry juice.
It smells great. Okay.
He's just chugging it, and you're like, look, okay.
Amintus, what would you like to do?
Mantis is going to use Mellow Dance.
Okay, and who are you going to use it on?
Myself.
Okay, so you watch as Amentis kind of mimics the movement that the slime made before, and you watch as her skin glows, and you watch as wounds start to kind of close on her. And yeah, you can also get rid of your poison with that too.
Yep. How do I get rid of the symbol?
If you click on your thing, at the bottom you see like a little circle.
Oh, I see it. I found it. Yeah.
Yep, right like that.
Perfect.
Now we're going to go back to top of the order.
I'm just going to leave my token there then.
The slime that saw you just mimic it is less than pleased, and it's going to try and nom on you, Amintus. That
Just thought you were being incredibly offensive to it.
it's a 15.
Meats.
Okay, so you take 20 points of physical damage. And it's done. I'm going to move you guys back here. Who wants to go first?
I had a question about the pulse.
Sure.
Is that once per turn, or
Yeah,
trying to find it
basically
right now.
the way that the pulse works is you can just decide to target magic defense instead of physical defense, and that's what your pulse does. And yeah, you can use that once per turn, or yeah.
Gotcha. So okay. Yeah. It works. Anybody else want to go first? That was a question.
Yeah. Can Amentis go on bodyguard again?
Absolutely.
For Furble?
Mm-hmm. And who are you bodyguarding again?
Furble.
Furble. Okay. So yeah, you watch as after Amintus does her little dancey dance, she moves over and guards Furble. The moth is going to take this opportunity, seeing a brief window when Furble is not guarded, and is going to try and attack. And you get there just before she can. And 13.
Nope.
So as the moth kind of dives down, you just kind of block it off. Who wants to go next? Move you back there.
Thank you.
No problem. Who's up next? All right.
I'm going.
All right, go for it, Murata.
I'm again going to attack that same slime.
Go for it.
Since I missed. That
Make
was
your accuracy check.
no bueno. It was a 13 this time.
13 definitely hits. Go
Sweet.
ahead and what's your damage for that?
15.
15, and is that including the additional 5?
Oh, the plus the physical. That would be that would be 21.
21.
That's additional 5. Yes.
Very, very nice. So
So he got a 10 on a D10. Does that do anything?
Nope. Critical
Okay.
hits are only doubles.
Okay.
Good question. What does mean that he did the maximum amount of damage he could have done, though. So that's nice. So you said it was 21, right?
21.
So as you cleave into this creature, you watch as it gets blown back, and now you can see it's having a hard time keeping its shape. It is in crisis. That ends that. Slime next to it is going to try and nom on you, Murata. Gets a 9. Does that beat your defense, Murata? Mad Spike?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still reading
Yep.
things.
Sorry.
What was it?
9.
9. No, does not.
Cool.
beat.
So again, you kind of block and are able to prevent it with your shield. Who wants to go next?
Oh, next.
Okay, go for it.
Verbal is going to he's going to target the moth, and he's going to target the slime that's in crisis,
Okay.
and he's going to try for Lux again now that he's
Go
got
for
his
it.
condition cleared. Insight, willpower.
Yeah, they both have massive magic defenses, and by massive I mean not.
Yeah, so it'll be 9.
9. Beats both of them. So go ahead and what's the damage?
So that'll be high roll was 6, so 6 plus 15, 21.
So as Fabula moves forward, he brings his staff around, and you can watch as those balls of light flow. He swings his staff; both balls of light go flying, and as they impact the moth and the slime, you watch them kind of vanish as they dissolve into light. Double
No
kill is
way!
nice. The remaining slime, watching you do that, is going to try and take a swing at you. Gets stopped by an Amentus. And he's going to get a 14 versus Amentus. Oh, wait, it's doubles. So unfortunately, it does hit. You take 17 points of the damage, and you are going to get the... which condition do I like the best? He's going to give you the weak condition. So as you get hit by this, you notice that as he hits, you can feel your arms feeling heavier. Whatever he hit, he must have hit a nerve somewhere in your robotic body, and for some reason your shields feel heavier than they should. And that's the end of his turn. Silas and Aikido, who wants to go first?
I'll take a shot.
Go for it.
And hopefully I won't throw this one away.
I mean, it'd be nice.
13.
13 definitely hits. What's the damage?
18 damage.
18. So these two slimes have not really been touched too much yet. As the bolt of lightning hits them, you watch as the lightning kind of fizzles around and you see little bits of slime just kind of evaporate as it is hit. Math is hard. Stay in school, kids. All right. Then Aikido, what do you want to do?
I will use crazy about slimes.
Okay. Go ahead and make your magic attack.
And that will be 11. I roll a 7, so 22.
Okay. Again, as the ice hits them, it doesn't seem to do as much damage as you think it should, but they definitely take some damage. All right. And that ends that. We go back to the top of the round. Everybody comes back. The first slime is going to try and take a nom out of Aikido. That's an 11 versus your defense.
So it.
All right, you take 16 points of physical damage as it kind of constricts one of your arms. You can feel the bones kind of squeezing underneath it.
I activate my paper weapon.
Sure. Go ahead and make insight, and I'll let you choose insight and willpower, or insight.
Oh. That would be a 6.
It's very slime-like. You think it might be entirely made of slime. Possibly. But beyond that, you got nothing.
And you said 16 demons?
Yes, 16.
Alright. I didn't want it to be correct with it. 16.
Yeah. So, the other slime is going to try and nom on the dude with the sword and shield. And lose their die. It's at 11.
Miss.
So, again, it comes forward. You just kind of block it with your shield. And then, because there are no more enemies that can take to turns, Oh, wait, no. He wasn't supposed to take his turn yet. One of you guys gets to go first, and then he'll miss. So, who wants to go first?
Silas will go to Scrappy,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like kneel down and go, Scrappy, hit it.
Okay.
And Scrappy will make a sonic bark attack.
Okay. So you'd see this kind of strange kind of morphing in Scrappy, and then suddenly this incredibly loud bark goes out. What's your what's the attack roll? Or the accuracy check?
I believe it's a willpower plus willpower.
Yep. Just what's the total?
Sorry. 16.
16 definitely hits. Are you going for the one that's more hurt or less hurt?
Less hurt.
Okay. And how much damage do you do?
Math is hard. 8 plus 15 is 23, I believe.
23 is a nice number.
23 air damage and is now dazed.
Okay. And yeah, Daze does insight. Which really can't get any lower for these guys because they're not too bright. All right, so as you watch as this wave of sonic energy goes and blasts this slime, you see big parts of it get thrown off. You can see this slime is having a hard time holding its shape. It is in crisis. Then the other slime is going to attack and miss. Who wants to go next?
I will step up and I will attack both of them with the multi-property and dismiss
Okay.
Aikido.
So go ahead and the way that the multi works is you make an attack. You make 2 attack rolls. So
two separate attacks.
Yep. While you're making those rolls, I'm just going to narrate. So go ahead and do
Sure.
that. You guys watch as he steps forward, and you guys can see he looks kind of larger than life. You watch as the smoke starts to come out, and you can see a kind of legendary figure appearing behind him. And the figure goes and kind of grabs the sword with Murado, and Murado takes this big swing and is able to attack both of them. What are your accuracy checks?
Critical fail on the first one,
Okay. So we'll do that in a second.
and then a 10 for the second.
Okay. The 10 definitely hits. What's the damage for that?
That is going to be 19, if if I'm not mistaken. Math.
It looks like a 19 to me. So.
And then does that still include the +5
Yes, that would still
for
include
this
the
attack?
+5. Yep.
Okay, so then it's +5 on that, so 24.
Well, if what I'm reading from here, it's 8 plus 6, which would be a 14, and then +5 would bring it up to a 19.
Oh, then I had an additional 5 in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So the slime that you do hit looks rough. However, the other slime is able to move so quickly that it kind of slaps you on the back of the head, and you now have the slow condition. All right. Who wants to go next? Because they have no more turns.
I will. Oh, you great again.
Go for it. Are you keeping track of your magic points? Because I
Yeah.
believe it's 10 per target.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. So,
That would be 8.
8 is exactly what you need to hit their magic defense. So, go ahead and roll damage. What's your high roll? You don't.
Oh, 21.
21. So, the one that just got slapped by Murata, as it's hit by that, you watch as the entire thing crystallizes and then shatters. The other one, again, not taking quite as much damage as you think it should. How much was the total damage? Was it 20 or 21?
21.
21, okay. It takes a decent chunk out of it, and you can see that it is also having a difficult time keeping its form together. It is in crisis. So, Amintus or Furball, who wants to go next?
I think... Except Verbal doesn't think you should go up and smack these things. I think the only other option I would have would be if I drank one of the potions to get some magic points back.
Definitely. You can do that as your action. Just again, take out the inventory points.
I will have to glug that and take out 3.
All right, Amintus, you are up. What you want to do?
Let's see.
Oh, but it's full.
Seeing how effective everyone has been, and knowing that Furball is a little bit on the squishy side, it's going to take the bodyguard action again.
Okay, cool. All right, back to top of the order. Snake is going to go for Silas, because Silas is being mean. I'm going to try Nom on you. I got a 6 and a 3, a 9 versus your defense.
That is a negative.
So as the slime kind of comes forward, you watch as Scrappy comes up and just kind of tail slaps it back and gets down. And then it's just you guys. So whichever order you want, who wants first crack at this dude?
Silas will pull out his gun and
Okay.
take a shot.
Go for it. Make me an accuracy check.
Bam, 18.
18 definitely hits. What's the damage on that?
19.
19. As you shoot it with your magic cannon, you watch as the lightning bolt comes out and just fries this creature. As you can see, there's just this tiny little puddle of slime just clinging to life. Who wants to go next?
Oh, stab it with my rapier.
Go for it. Make me an accuracy check.
That would be a 15.
Definitely hits. Go ahead and roll. What's the damage?
10 plus 6, so 15.
All right. Claim your kill. Describe your victory.
Alright, so I will move forward and
So you guys watch as Akito goes off. You can still see the frost kind of radiating from his blade. He goes over and you watch. He does a perfect lunge, goes in and plunges into the creature. And you can see the creature is trying to resist the ice, but it's just not working. As you watch as each little bit of the slime gets more and more crystallized. And as you have this little frozen piece of slime on the end of your sword, you just kind of raise it to the air, and you watch as it just shatters into 1,000 pieces. As you all look around, you realize that where you are right now is much more dangerous than you ever realized. And no matter what your feelings were to this group of people before, it seems that you are going to need to rely on them for your lives if you want to get out of here. But unfortunately, that is where we're going to end it for tonight. As always, if you missed any of this, I do upload all these to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/TrainerJody. Otherwise, again, that is going to be all for me today. I do want to raid somebody. This is a buddy of mine that I met through Armored Core 6, actually. He was playing it, and I'm a huge fan of Armored Core 6. I had a lot of fun. It's a buddy by the name of Schutzwolf. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we're going to be running this all through December, Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central Time. So please come back next week to see how these guys deal with this strange place that they've been put in. Otherwise, again, that's all for me today, and I will see you guys next time. All right? Bye-bye. And we're going to be on just a little bit longer so I can hit the raid now button. But we're just going to keep waving because we like waving. We're like royalty. We just wave and wave and wave. And now we're going.